Hi everyone, welcome to your week 4 video. So I just realized that I forgot to re-mention that your Google Sheets, Docs, Slides, Forms, whatever you end up using in Google that's a Google-based product will auto-save your work to Google Drive. So you don't have to push save. There is a way to work with all of these products offline. However, to keep things simple, please just make sure to be connected to the internet while you're working with the tools this week. If you're interested in learning more about going offline and using this stuff offline, you can find some great playlists and videos on YouTube. You can also email me and I can send you some of those. So last week you used a variety of Microsoft productivity tools that you may have already had some experience with, and this week you're going to use Google's version of each of those tools. So like last week, MTA3 is going to have 4 parts, and you're going to use Google Sheets, Docs, Slides, and Forms. So before I walk you through each of these parts, here's your week 4 checklist. If you're watching this video right now, you should have already watched the G Suite video that I made, which is really more of a Google Drive video than it is a G Suite video. If you haven't watched that already, please just pause this video and watch it. It's about 8.5 minutes long. So like last week, you'll notice that we don't have any discussion this week, and that's because there are, again, 4 parts to this week's MTA. And I want you to really focus your time on that this week. So as you work through the activities this week, just make a mental note of some of the differences you see between Microsoft and Google tools. You're going to do a SWOT analysis, or an analysis of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in next week's discussion board. Okay, so as I mentioned, Microsoft Office and Google have a variety of productivity tools that correspond with each other. Like the 4 that you're going to be using for this week. So just as Microsoft Office has, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Forms, Google has their own version. So they have Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Forms. So Microsoft kind of copied Google on that one and didn't get real creative with their name, I guess. And so just as Microsoft, has some additional productivity tools, Google also has additional productivity tools like Drawing, which is probably my favorite, My Maps, Keep, Sites, Tasks, and Jamboard, which is pretty new, and I haven't really gotten to play around with that much yet. So you're going to get to choose a few of those extra ones to explore next week. So let's look at the MTA number 3, Google Productivity Tool instructions. As always, MTAs are due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m., which means MTA 3 is due Sunday, February 10th at 11:59 p.m. So when you're working on MTA 3, you can either use your personal Gmail account or your Orange Mail account to complete the assignments. Just know that if you're using Orange Mail, there's going to be an extra step for sharing your documents, and they're listed in the assignment instructions. OSU faculty and staff are only allowed to have Cowboy Mail, which is why there's going to be an extra step for sharing, and this will make sense when you get to that point. So whichever account you use, Gmail or Orange Mail, I highly suggest that you create a document that you can access easily to house all of your links, because you're going to have a link from each of the 4 parts of your assignment. So the text in the body of your document should be what you see highlighted on the screen right now, and each part should be hyperlinked using links that you gathered from each part of the assignment. If you're freaking out right now, don't worry about it. We'll get there at the end. All right, so I'm just going to quickly walk you through each part. Part 1 is the Google Sheets data visualization activity, and for this activity, you're going to upload the completed Excel file that you submitted last week, which was MTA 2 Part 1. Just as I showed you in the G Suite video, you're basically just going to go to drive.google.com, upload your Excel file, double-click on the file, and then click Open in Google Sheets, which will be at the top center of the page. So after you rename your file, as noted in the assignment instructions, you're going to follow the instructions to add a new sheet, make a pie chart, and then create a new chart of your choice. Both of your charts are going to be on a second sheet of your file, which will be named Data Visualization. So I'm just going to show you what I mean so you're not stressed out about it. So if you have your sheet open, and yours will be filled up with the work that you completed, there will be different sheets down here. So you'll add a new one. if it wants to work. Okay. And then this one will end up being data visualization. And then I forgot what this one was supposed to be. The first one is going to be named budget. So you'll end up having 2 sheets, and the budget is where the spring break budget that you already completed will be, and then you'll end up adding your charts in over here after you follow those instructions. Okay, so you'll end up getting a shareable link for your Google Sheet and submit it in Brightspace, and I'll go over those instructions at the end of the presentation. So part 2 is the docs scavenger hunt, and you're basically going to click on the hyperlink that's in the assignment instructions, which I have here, and I'm going to click on it in a second, and you're going to end up making a copy of the document. So I'm just going to walk you through it. So yours will basically have a view only version. Mine's an edit because it's mine. But basically you'll go to File, make a copy, rename your file, and then you're going to end up completing this scavenger hunt. So I want you to try your best to not navigate away from the Google Doc. You should be able to do everything just within the Google Doc and not going outside of it. The only thing I'm okay with you navigating away from the Google Doc is to find a tutorial for number 9, which is how to insert a bookmark, because it's probably just the trickiest thing to do correctly. So you'll also get a shareable link for your Google Doc when you're all done with it and submit it in Brightspace. And again, I'm going to talk about that at the end of the presentation. Okay, part 3 is the Google Slides assignment. And just like the Google Sheets assignment, you're going to upload your completed PowerPoint from MTA2 and convert it to a Google Slides presentation. Unfortunately, Google Slides doesn't support the audio narration that you recorded in PowerPoint. So you'll end up deleting the volume symbol that's in the bottom left corner of each slide, or sorry, bottom right corner of each slide. So after you convert your file to a Google Slides, you'll see what I mean. Also, I want you to just make sure to check the slides to see if there's any formatting of your text or images that's a little bit off, and update it however you see fit. So after checking your slides and taking out the volume, you're gonna use a tutorial here to add Q&A to your slides. So if you were presenting to a group of people and the Q&A were on, like you're gonna turn it on, basically your audience members could type and submit questions to you in real time, which is a pretty cool way to make a presentation more interactive. Additionally, I'd like you to try the closed caption feature. So you'll use this tutorial again, and this feature transcribes your presentation in real time to provide closed captioning for your audience members. I love this feature because it makes things more accessible for people. However, I don't love that it doesn't save the captions yet. So additionally, for the Google Slides activity, you're going to do something that's a little bit tedious, but I wanted you to see how you could add audio. And in this case, it'll be music instead of narration. But I wanted to see you to know how you could add it to Google Slides. So you're going to follow these step-by-step instructions, and you'll have the opportunity to test out whether or not it works correctly after you publish it to the web. So the last thing that you're going to do with Google Slides is you're going to publish them to the web using the instructions provided. So make sure that you change the auto advanced slide setting to every 15 seconds before you copy the link. Then you're going to paste that link into the speaker notes, and I'm going to check to make sure that you did that properly, and you should too. So after you paste the link into your speaker notes, I suggest pasting that same link into a new tab. And then in the bottom left corner, there should be a button where you can push play. And so go ahead and do that, and it should auto advance your slides every 15 seconds, and you should hear whatever song you chose, playing on each slide. Just know that there's probably going to be some sort of brief pause between each slide as it's transitioning. So again, when you're all done, you're going to end up sharing this link to Brightspace, which is going to be different than the publish to the web link, and I'll walk you through that at the end. So part 4 is forms, a form survey, And if you want to use the same like content theme or even some of the same questions from your Microsoft form, you can please feel free to do that. Your Google form needs to have a title, at least 11 questions. Use each of the 11 question types at least once. Use the short answer question type as the first question that asks you for your respondent's name. Use images as the answer choices for one of the questions. Use images as a video, images or videos as an aid for one of the questions and not an answer choice. And also change the theme from that automatic purple that you see to a different one. So you'll need to get a link to send the form in Brightspace, and I'm going to walk you through that here in just a second. Maybe. Okay, so did that go to the right one? It did. Okay, so when you're done with all 4 parts of MTA3, you're going to submit all 4 links in Brightspace. So to get shareable links for your Google Docs, slides, and sheets, you're going to end up kind of doing what's shown here on the screen. But you're going to click the share button in the top right corner, or I'll actually wait for it to restart. And it's going, okay, so you're going to click the share button, and then if you click that shareable link button, if you have a personal Gmail, it'll set to anyone with the link can view. You can copy it and then use that. If you're using your Orange Mail, you might need to go to this More setting to make sure that, you know, I'm able to see it. So you'll end up changing it then to anyone with the link can view. So just make sure that whatever it says, the share is to anyone with the link can view. And that'll be for docs, sheets, and slides. So Google Forms is just slightly different because they don't have a share button there, they have a send button. So you'll click the send button in the top right corner, and then in the send form pop-up, you'll end up clicking send via link and copying the link. So here it is, you click the link, copy the link, and if you're someone who's using Orange Mail, you might have one more step. So you might need to go to the settings wheel here. You don't see this on my screen right now, but you'll probably have to uncheck a box that says restrict to your domain users, and then click save. So if you don't do this, I probably won't be able to see your form. All right, so one thing that I want you to make sure that you do is keep track of your links throughout the work that you're doing. So that could be like in a Word document like I have here, and you'll see I have the naming conventions Newman _ MTA3, and then this will be, you know, the body of your text. And then whenever you get one of those links because you finished something, you just hyperlink it like I'm doing in this video, and that way you can keep track of all of your properly shared links, right? So you can do this in a Word document like this, or you can also even do it in a Google Doc if you're comfortable using those. So I would just suggest keeping track of stuff like this so you don't frantically have to be looking for everything around the time that you need to submit them. So once you have all of your links because you finished everything, I want you to test your links. So you're gonna definitely need to be making sure you have Google Chrome for this, because if you don't, you won't be able to go to an incognito window. But basically you're gonna go into an incognito window because incognito windows are ones that are not signed into your Gmail account. So it doesn't add to your history or anything like that, and it doesn't, you know, show that you're signed in. So you want to use that to test your links, because if your links are not shared properly, it'll give you a message saying that you don't have access to the file. So if you tested your link in a normal tab, it would work because you own the file and you're already signed into your Gmail. So here's an example of what I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to get out of presenter view really quick, and I'm going to get a link that is not properly shared. So I'm just going to copy this link right here, and if you notice, there's no one else has access but me here, so it's not properly shared. We all know that. So I'm going to hit done, and then I'm going to open up a new incognito window, and the instructions are linked for you, and I'm going to paste that link in here. And it's actually not properly shared, which is why it's asking me to sign in. It might also tell you that you need permission to sign in. So this is what will happen when it's not properly formatted. So I'm gonna just navigate over to my Word document here that has all of my properly formatted links. And what you need to do if you're using Word is right click on the document so you get this drop down, and then copy the hyperlink. You're gonna go back over to your incognito window that has your little, incognito logo there. Open a new tab, and then you'll paste that in. And this one is properly shared because I can see it, right? So you'll wanna do that with everything so that I can see it. Because if I can't see it, well then I can't assess your work, right? So please make sure to do that. All right, so when you're done testing all of your hyperlinks in an incognito window, you're gonna submit the document that you've been housing all of your hyperlinks in to the Brightspace Dropbox for MTA number 3 using the naming conventions and the assignment instructions. So that'll be last name _ MTA3. Okay, so if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, don't worry. You can always come back to this video when you get to the point of submitting your work. Additionally, if you've closed all your tabs and can't figure out how to get back to all the work that you completed in Google, just go back to drive.google.com and all your work is going to be there. So all you have left to do this week is MTA 3, and if you have any questions or need any assistance, please feel free to get in touch with me. That's all for now. Happy working this week, and let me know if you need anything.